The morning sun spilled its golden light across the broad expanse of the RAF Fairford runway, where anticipation buzzed through the cool air like static before a storm. Families, aviation enthusiasts, and seasoned photographers crowded the barriers, their eyes fixed on the distant shimmer of heat that marked the day's most awaited display. At the far end of the runway, the JF-17 Thunder Block 3 stood poised and ready, its sleek silhouette painted in a striking new livery designed to dazzle at the Royal International Air Tattoo 2025. The fighter jet's angular lines and stealthy profile seemed to absorb the sunlight, giving it a quiet menace even as it remained perfectly still. Ground crew moved with practiced precision around the aircraft, their fluorescent vests catching flashes of sunlight as they completed the final checks. Inside the cockpit, the pilot, call sign, Falcon-1, methodically reviewed his instruments, every motion deliberate and controlled. For those watching, the sense of expectation grew heavier, the crowd falling into a hushed anticipation. Then, with a low growl that swiftly built into a thunderous roar, the JF-17 came to life. Heat rippled from the engine exhaust as the aircraft taxied forward, the nose wheel gently tracing the centerline of the runway. With a sudden surge of power, the fighter accelerated, the afterburner igniting in a blazing trail of orange. The jet's tires barely seemed to touch the tarmac before lifting free, climbing sharply into the morning sky. Spectators craned their necks as the JF-17 streaked upward in a vertical ascent that seemed to defy gravity, leaving behind a faint vapor trail and a collective gasp from the crowd. Cameras clicked furiously, struggling to capture the sheer speed and elegance of the climb. The Block 3's upgraded engine demonstrated its muscle effortlessly, and the improved flight control systems allowed Falcon-1 to hold a razor-sharp trajectory without even the slightest wobble. The roar of the jet rolled across the airfield like distant thunder, echoing long after it had disappeared into the blue. As the fighter broke through a bank of scattered clouds, sunlight caught the edges of its wings, making them glint like blades in the sky. This was no mere demonstration of flight. It was a declaration of technological ambition. The JF-17 Thunder Block 3, once considered a modest lightweight fighter, now revealed itself as a contender on the world stage. Later in the afternoon, when the sun had shifted and the shadows of the grandstand stretched longer across the grass, the crowd once again turned its attention skyward. The JF-17 taxied out for its second major demonstration of the day, this time showcasing the advanced electronics and combat capabilities that set the Block 3 apart. Falcon-1 lifted off smoothly, climbing with practiced ease before banking sharply toward a mock opponent, a Eurofighter Typhoon already holding position in the distant sky. A hush fell over the spectators as the two jets began their carefully choreographed interception routine. With swift, precise movements, the JF-17 closed in, demonstrating the reach of its newly fitted active electronically scanned array radar. Commentators explained over loudspeakers how the radar allowed the pilot to track multiple targets simultaneously, giving him a crucial edge in modern aerial combat. The aircraft's electronic warfare suite pulsed silently, capable of jamming and deceiving hostile systems, though invisible to the naked eye. Falcon-1 rolled the aircraft into a tight turn that seemed to slice the air like a blade, the Block 3 responding as though it were an extension of the pilot's own body. The Typhoon broke away, and the Thunder followed with a burst of speed that made the crowd gasp in awe. Aviation experts among the spectators nodded approvingly, recognizing the significance of the data-linked capabilities that allowed the Thunder to coordinate seamlessly with Allied aircraft in real time. As the mock interception concluded, Falcon-1 brought the display to a dramatic close. The fighter climbed sharply once more, releasing a spray of flares that burned like miniature suns against a late afternoon sky. Each brilliant burst illuminated the sleek lines of the aircraft, casting its silhouette in fiery orange and white. The crowd erupted into applause, not merely for the skill of the pilot but for the technological leap that the JF-17 Thunder Block 3 represented. It was a powerful message to the world's aviation community that Pakistan's homegrown fighter had arrived as a fully modern, network-centric warplane capable of standing alongside the most advanced jets on Earth. The next day dawned crisp and clear, with a soft blue sky stretching endlessly above the vast airfield. Long before the gates opened, enthusiasts were already lining up, eager to see the JF-17 Thunder Block 3 not just in flight but up close. As the morning mist lifted, the fighter stood silently in the static display area, a dark sentinel of cutting-edge engineering. Its sharp angles and stealth-enhanced contours caught the early light, making it appear both elegant and dangerous. Children ran excitedly toward the barriers with their parents close behind, phones and cameras ready to capture every detail. Engineers from the Pakistan Aeronautical Complex and visiting experts from the aviation industry were stationed nearby, answering questions with a quiet pride that reflected years of hard work. They explained how the Block 3's advanced avionics suite allowed the pilot to process battlefield data with remarkable speed, and how the newly integrated beyond visual range missile systems gave the fighter a significant edge in modern air combat. Visitors leaned closer as guides pointed out the subtle design refinements that helped reduce radar cross-section, from the carefully angled air intakes to the composite materials used in key areas of the fuselage. The longer they looked, the more the crowd began to appreciate that this was not simply an upgrade but a leap forward in the evolution of the Thunder platform. A small group of aviation experts engaged the engineers in detailed conversations about the jet's cost-effectiveness compared to its Western counterparts. They were surprised to learn how the JF-17 had maintained its affordability while incorporating features typically reserved for far more expensive fighters. For many in the crowd, this revelation sparked a deeper respect for the program's ingenuity. A few journalists scribbled notes while others recorded interviews, their microphones capturing the hum of excitement around the aircraft. Children stared wide-eyed at the cockpit canopy, imagining themselves as future pilots while their parents explained the importance of national innovation and self-reliance. The display had become more than just a technical showcase, it was a symbol of ambition and collaboration. Pakistan's aerospace industry had not only produced a competitive fighter but had also demonstrated its ability to work alongside global partners, reinforcing the idea that modern aviation is as much about cooperation as it is about competition. By midday the crowd had swelled, and the static display area buzzed with conversations in multiple languages. The JF-17 Thunder Block 3, once merely a topic for defense analysts, had become the centerpiece of a shared fascination that transcended national borders. As the final day of the Royal International Air Tattoo approached its close, the sky began to turn a soft amber, the lowering sun casting long shadows across the tarmac. The audience sensed that the JF-17's last flight would be something special. When Falcon 1 once again guided the fighter onto the runway, a hush fell over the grandstands, the anticipation almost electric. The jet roared to life with a surge of power, its afterburner igniting in a brilliant glow that shimmered like a comet's tail. In a blur of motion, it lifted gracefully into the evening sky, beginning its farewell performance with a high G barrel roll that drew a chorus of gasps and applause. The fighter then leveled out and executed a knife-edge pass, slicing through the air with such precision it seemed to defy the very laws of physics. The crowd, mesmerized, followed every movement as Falcon 1 pushed the aircraft to the limits of its design, demonstrating the responsiveness and stability of the Block 3's advanced flight control systems. Applause built into cheers as the jet climbed sharply once again, the afterburner trailing a brilliant streak against the twilight. For a moment it hung almost weightless at the apex of its climb before banking smoothly and diving toward the runway in a controlled descent. The sound of the engine rolled over the field like distant thunder, a fitting tribute to the fighter's name. When the aircraft finally touched down, the landing gear kissing the tarmac with effortless grace, the spectators erupted in a standing ovation. Many waved flags, others simply clapped with an admiration that words could not capture. As the canopy lifted and Falcon 1 raised a gloved hand in acknowledgement, the evening light caught the gleam of the jet's surface one last time. The JF-17 Thunder Block 3 had not only demonstrated its technical capabilities but had also captured the imagination of everyone present. It left RIAT 2025 not just as a fighter jet but as a powerful statement of progress and a reminder that innovation knows no boundaries.